I want to thank everybody for coming to Healthy Travel with Nicole. We are at the premiere event live virtually, which is awesome because I don't know about you, but the weather out in South Jersey is not good at all. So I'm happy to have you here. And I want to introduce Cassandra Tyndall. She is the co-producer and director of Healthy Travel with Nicole. So Cassandra, come on and introduce yourself and tell everybody how fabulous you are.
Well, I just want to say hello to all of you people out there who joined us this evening on this wonderful evening here on this side of the planet to premiere Healthy Travels with Nicole. I think this is a fun, exciting, and just healthy adventurous television show, episode, pilot, premiere that we think you're going to love. So again, my name is Cassandra Tyndall. I am the not co-host, I am the owner of WOM Media LLC, writer, producer, and director. So come on, let's join Nicole.
So Cassandra, thank you so much for being here because, without you, this would never have happened for sure. A lot of people travel, they have a great time, but then they come back and they're 10 pounds heavier and then they're miserable and all that. But not just that aspect of it, but like seeing new places, exploring new restaurants, exploring the history of towns, really going to places that not maybe people have been to, and maybe they're like the secret gems and the hidden gardens that people don't know about, and really highlight those businesses. So you get excited to go visit them, but you also get kind of a sneak peek ahead of time because you're coming and traveling with me and the cast and crew, and kind of finding out what it's like to travel, do all the fun stuff, and still kind of stay on track with your health and fitness.
Well, at WOM Media, we produce a variety of shows, okay? Our show, Women's Straight Talk, I do produce, and I host a show called Women's Straight Talk. That is more on the side of a talking, reality kind of episode features that we produce. But with Healthy Travel with Nicole, I knew that we would have to take the cameras on the road and give the audience an exciting adventure. And then we had to figure out what we were going to call it. All right. So together, Nicole and I came up with Healthy Travel with Nicole. I think after 2 days of contemplating, like a lifestyle, no, that sounds more like this, that. But anyway, we came together on an idea that we thought would fit perfect for Nicole. And off of that, we just took it and ran with it. Now, this is the thing I want to let you guys know, because Nicole she's not playing around, all right? We decided we would do the show when we decided that she was actually going on vacation for a whole month. And she wanted to do this before she left. So from the time that we decided to do it, brought these ideas and decided to do this show, 5 days later, we were shooting. Yeah. 5 days later, we were shooting. We did it all on the fly, okay? Yes. And I am so excited about how the show came out. Amari, he is our other producer and camera guy that does all the editing and controls and stuff like that. So we got together and we got 7:00 that morning, the day of the shoot. We were supposed to go to the park first. That was supposed to be the first scene, okay? 7:00 in the morning, we rolled up and it was raining like cats and dogs.
Yes, it was bad. It was like the wind was blowing. It wasn't as bad as Ian the past weekend, but it was like you could just see the clouds rolling in and the skies opening. And we're looking at each other like, can we do this in like 5 minutes? And we're like, no, we cannot shoot the part.
So that's all in production. You have to learn how to pivot. You have to be, expect the unexpected. And that's what we did. So we went on to our next destination. And by the time we got back to the park, it was a beautiful, unbelievable, sunny day.
Yeah, which you will see in this episode as we get to it. Yeah. So let's kick off. We're going to start off with the intro. So I'm going to play that.
By the way, Mullica Hill, we visited Mullica Hill.
Yes, we filmed in Mullica Hill. And the reason why I picked this, Mullica Hill, is one, it was close to us because, again, like Cassandra said, I got this together. I don't know how. I just think it was meant to be, how it all came together. Because other than one of the guests that you will meet this evening, I didn't know anybody. And I was like, hey, I'm Nicole Simone and we want to film. We want to do a show. Are you in? And they were like, yeah. So it was incredible how everybody joined together. And not only that, the mayor of Mullica Hill, Mayor Manzo, yes. Which I don't know if he was supposed to be on tonight. I know he had a ribbon cutting for another ceremony, but thank you to him because I reached out to him and he was super helpful and helped direct me to different people that could also help get this together as well.
And then the whole town and the businesses, they opened up their doors, they welcomed us in, and so they made it happen for us. So thank you guys.
So as we go through the night, you will see the clips of the show. When you actually watch the episode, of course, they're all going to be together, but we wanted to make this as interactive as possible, so you could get to meet the cast and crew and kind of hear our behind the scenes stories, which some of them I find are very amusing. So that is our intro. And thank you. I see some people who absolutely love the intro. That is awesome. Keep the chat going if you want to. I would love to hear your feedback on everything as we go through it for sure. We are going to introduce our first guest this evening, and it is Chef Malaby of Blue Plate.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good.
Still got butterflies in your stomach?
No. No, after my TEDx talk last week, I don't have butterflies. That was scary last week. This is a piece of cake. So, Jim, you are sitting actually in Blue Plate in the upstairs with that beautiful fireplace.
Right where we were doing some shooting.
Right where we shot the episode, yeah. And so you're going to see in the episode clip that Jim's daughter, Haley, who couldn't be here because she's busy at school, and she also was a guest on the show, and she did an incredible job and shared her talents not only at Blue Plate, but also with us, which you, again, are going to see. And Jim, tell everybody a little bit about Blue Plate and your experience on the show.
We are a very local farm to fork restaurant. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, kind of like an all-day cafe. Very neighborhood vibe here. A ton of regulars eat in every single day, and we just like to have that vibe. You walk in the door, you see your neighbor, you see the guy down the street, you see parents of your children's friends from school. We just have that vibe going on. And during the season, a lot of the produce that we offer, people visit those farm stands also, so they know exactly what they're eating here and they're buying it later on the day, or they got it yesterday. So it's a really neighborhood feel on the restaurant.
Yeah. So tell everybody about your experience about being on the show.
It was great. It was great. I've done a few, shows kind of ish, but never like this at all. So it was really nice being, kind of the center of attention. And like you said, my daughter was a little bit tied into it and she enjoyed it. As a co-worker of the restaurant and, some other things that you were nice enough to share about her, it was just really a nice experience that we did. And then we got to showcase our food, which is,
I was just going to say, if you don't mention that, Jim provided us with a buffet of food. You won't see that on the show, but I have some pictures and I will be posting it on Instagram, but so I have a teenage son who helped out. He could have eaten that entire table and wanted more. There was so much food on there and everything was delicious. Cassandra, do you remember what you ate? It was so incredible.
I just know that it was just like gourmet to me. Okay. His restaurant it's it's set apart from any other type of restaurant in that style that I have been at, okay, because I was totally surprised at the gourmet, dishes that he prepared, things that I had never, I wouldn't even think about putting together, but I had to taste everything and couldn't stop tasting because it was just unbelievable. Okay. The creativity, the talent that Jim had, and how he, the spread and how he laid it out, and just the tastes and the flavors that all came together. It was mind blowing. It was mind blowing. Great experience.
Yeah. And his food not only tastes good, but like it's like eye candy. I mean, the colors and everything, it looks so good. Jim, what did you have that day? It was bacon wrapped figs or dates or something?
And our dates that are stuffed with andouille sausage and wrapped with bacon. We had one of our great lunch sandwiches, our turkey Waldorf sandwich, which is raisin bread, house roasted turkey, sliced apples, and walnut mayonnaise. So there's this nutty, sweet, earthiness going on to it. Kind of same thing, going back to the dates. It has this smoky, sweet spiciness going on. So we like to put dishes together that have a bunch of different avenues that hit your taste buds.
Only every plate.
Yeah, and for sure, it hit every taste bud. It was so good. This is the Blue Plate in Mullica Hill, New Jersey. So we're here in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, and we are dining at the Cornerstone Restaurant of Mullica Hill. And Haley has been so nice to come and join me on my travels today. And we're going to be tasting some delicious food, which it looks like some has already arrived. And oh, here comes some more.
Hi ladies, here's your food.
Thank you.
Anything else I can get you?
No, that looks delicious.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. So Haley, tell me, because as I walked in, there was a lot of art and beautiful pictures on the wall. And I know you guys bring in local artists to the restaurant, but I also heard a rumor that you contributed a lot of your talents to this facility.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of local artists that come through, and we do have their pieces displayed throughout. I was responsible for a lot of the other pieces as well. The logo on the floor downstairs, I did that. And then some of the other pieces throughout the restaurant, we have this one over here too. I did them mostly custom for the exact location that they're in. So I'm sure you saw the really long drawings there on the wall downstairs. Those were made especially for those places, so they would fit perfectly between the lights.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So they were designed, the composition was designed perfectly to fit those spaces. Of course, all of them inspired by the restaurant, being coffee cups, pots and pans, things like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So you are also the owner's daughter. So how was it like growing up in this restaurant?
It is a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. I enjoy meeting all the people that come through. You get to interact with so many different types of people, customers, people that live here, and even people that are coming through from even across the country. I know yesterday I had people from Illinois that were in eating, and
oh, wow.
That was interesting to see because we do have the local ingredients from the farms around here, so it might not be something that they get where they're at, or the same quality. So it's interesting to see they come in and they say we have a very unique menu depending on what is grown around. So it's just nice to have that interaction with people and then see the same people come back weekend after weekend and getting to know them.
Yeah, I used to be a waitress many, many moons ago, and that was one of the beautiful things I loved, because the flow of people and you get to meet so many different people, and the fact that this is kind of halfway between Philly and the shore, and the people that are coming and traveling through here, they get to experience this place because it's not like other places. It's very unique, the rustic and the country look, but I love the farm to table aspect that you guys have, because it is really community oriented. We want to make sure that, when one business is around, the rest of the businesses will thrive because they're all kind of going together and making that.
Sure.
So are you continuing with your artistic avenues, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I attend Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia, and I go for interior design, which is a little bit different than what I have been doing in the past. The drawing and painting, like the stuff you've seen around in the restaurant. But they both tie together, like I said, how those pieces were designed for those exact locations.
Yeah.
So it has to do with kind of the room as a whole and what design elements you can fit in each place. So I've still been using what I learned in the past and everything like that, just applying it a different way.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So should we eat?
Yes,
Looks
I think
delicious. I can't wait to try the avocado toast. And this has been staring at me.
I think the avocado
looks
toast
delicious.
is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah? So, do you have any creative say in the food that is made, or just the art?
The food, sometimes. If I see something, I'll send it, and then normally we do like our own twist on it. Avocado toast is something that I really like, so I was glad to see it's on the menu.
Oh my god. That is really good. That is super good. That is so yummy. And this is zucchini bread, right?
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite snacks that we have.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna have to find something else to do while I eat all this. Hey Jim. Jim here is the chef at Blue Plate, and he's gonna tell us all about this fantastic food that is we're diving into and enjoying every bite. So Jim, tell me, what is this beautiful concoction you have here?
Well, today you have our famous zucchini bread. First off, locally grown zucchini out of South Jersey. It's one of our staple treats here at Blue Plate.
Wait a minute, I have to say, I'm going to interrupt you because this is incredible. Like, I've heard of zucchini bread and zucchini muffins and things like that, and this is delicious. Like, it's like a spiced gingerbread yumminess. Like it's so good.
Perfect starter
Yes,
for any meal.
I could eat a lot of this.
And then you also have our avocado toast with chickpea hash. This is a toasted ciabatta, locally baked, a roasted garlic hummus, and then some sweet avocado on top of it, and then tomatoes when locally in season we get right from down the street, and then just topped off with a little red pepper flakes. So you get some crispy from the bread, creamy from the avocado, a little spiciness from the red pepper flake. Great combination.
Yeah, it is so delicious. Like, you take one bite and it just melts in your mouth, you know, with the avocado, and ciabatta bread is my favorite, but it's so good. And that is one of the things I love about Blue Plate is you guys are farm to table, and you really incorporate some of the local farms. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We have farms in every direction of the restaurant. We have a local asparagus farmer, a local zucchini farmer, tomatoes are grown 10, 15 minutes down the road. So we get everything pretty much the day it was picked. We get it fresh, and there is no comparison to what you buy in a store or you get delivered that's 5, 6, 7, 10 days old. The stuff here is, we always joke, it's warm from the field when we get it still, and that's just the peak ripeness of everything that we try to do here.
Yeah, you really can tell the difference. Like, the freshness is just fantastic. I grew up on a farm too. My grandfather was a farmer, and I remember picking strawberries out of his field, and these strawberries are fantastic. The avocado, everything is so magnificent. It's truly delicious. Yeah. So Scott, we are up here in this beautiful loft with all this beautiful exposed beams and wood, and that is only a small portion of this beautiful Blue Plate. So can you tell me what else we can see here?
Yeah, indeed. There's some great stuff that they've done, starting with the outdoor pavilion, which is absolutely beautiful, really made and put together during the pandemic, which was an awesome idea on Chef Malvy's part. But then we've got the main dining room downstairs, which is cool, and then even down on the first level, which is really what was the original basement to this house. Really interesting artwork, interesting decor, fantastic, up and down.
Can you show me?
Sure, let's go.
All right. That was Breakfast Blue Plate. And I have to mention Scott, and I hope I'm not messing up his last name, Muscarella, was unable to be here with us, but he definitely played a part in helping get that sequence together. Jim, I want to thank you very much for coming on and really appreciate you taking the time to have us come and basically invade your restaurant for the day. And not only that, because of the rain that we had in the morning, I was on the phone with Jim at like 8 a.m. because we arrived at the park at 7 ish. I don't even know. It might have been earlier. And I was like, Jim, can we come over earlier? Because I don't think we were scheduled to arrive until noon ish. And you were nice. You were like, yeah, we're just going to do a couple things and then come on over. And we made it happen. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the experience.
I think I did mention the delicious food and the beautiful plate, the beautiful Blue Plate restaurant. And I would encourage anyone who's in the neighborhood or even coming from faraway places to visit Blue Plate restaurant in Mullica Hill, New Jersey.
Yes, highly recommend. Go there for breakfast, and then the next day go there for lunch and dinner. We really wanted to highlight a lot of the history of Mullica Hill because it's such a historic town. I grew up outside of Mullica Hill, so I didn't really know. Cassandra's, originally not from New Jersey, but I was put in touch with an incredible historian who has a depth of knowledge of Mullica Hill. And I'm so honored that we got to meet him and have him come on. And I am going to introduce Paul Showers.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me.
Cassandra, do you have anything to say? Because I know I have a small story before we dive into this segment, but I wanted to see if you had anything.
Well, like you said, Paul had a wealth of knowledge and information. Originally from New York, I moved to New Jersey, but still, all the years that I've been here, I'm still exploring New Jersey. And when I came across Mullica Hill and toured the town without cameras, just learned so much about Mullica Hill. Now, what I must say, all right, is that I'm very, very surprised that Mullica Hill had a history of textile mills, okay? Now, from New York, originally, I'm also a fashion designer, always been in that industry, worked in that industry, for a while, and, I'm a designer. So I'm familiar with mills, but usually they're in the South, like South Carolina. That's what, Milliken's mill and stuff like that. That's pretty much the area where they're located at. But when I found out that Mullica Hill originally was a textile a town or area, all right, that was pretty surprising to me.
Yeah.
I was really surprised at that.
Yeah.
Never knew.
Yeah, and you're going to hear in the segment too, like I didn't really know there was a railroad that went through. You will hear that in the segment. So before if it's okay, Paul, I'm going to share my little story before we get into the clip, and then I'm going to let you tell everyone a little bit about you and your experience on the show. So in this next segment, I forgot my shoes. If you look at what I'm wearing in Blue Plate, I have these fantastic shoes that I absolutely love, and I call them my standing shoes because they're about 4 or 5 inches high or whatever, and they are really hard to walk in. Now, if you know my history, I was a professional ballet dancer at one point, so I could walk on my toes, but like these shoes, I was afraid I was going to break an ankle. So I had taken them off to put on sneakers so we could walk up to the next section so we could shoot the next part of the show. But I forgot my shoes, my nice shoes. So, and The owner of the house that you're going to see allowed us to come and film on his property, which was incredible. And Paul kind of took us to a behind the scenes of his backyard, which is like a secret garden. I mean, it's incredible. Unfortunately, I stepped in some dog stuff. So when we walked up,
some doo-doo
in my sneakers. Thank goodness in my sneakers, right? So as we're filming this, I actually thought when I sat down that I had a dandelion or something on my shoe, and I tried to wipe it off. So this entire clip that you're going to see, I have stuff on my hand because I didn't bring anything with me to clean off. Usually I have wipes and stuff. I didn't have anything. So there's a little behind the scenes, probably TMI, that you may or may not have wanted to know. But that cracks me up whenever I watch this clip in that sense, because the whole time when I'm trying to have a conversation with Paul, I'm smelling this and trying to keep it out of my view. And also, Amari did a great job of not showing my sneakers, because I think the sneakers kind of detract, from the, Amari is the filmographer, so detract from the look I was going for. So
yeah, it's a good thing we didn't have any flies swarming around.
Oh, I know, right? So, Paul, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I've been a volunteer with the Historical Society for quite a long time, and I've also been serving on the Historic District Committee, which oversees our 1 Mile National Historic District. It's a state, local, and national historic district because of all the different kinds of architecture that we have on our main street. So as opposed to having some disconnected sites, we have an entire mile that has the protection of the Register of National Historic Places. And so that's really just a wonderful thing. And it kind of ensures, along with the mayor's programs, that Mullica Hill is going to remain Mullica Hill for a long time to come.
That's awesome.
When I moved here in 1967, it was a very, very small town with no
Don't give all the segment away, Paul.
Oh, okay. But it remains a charming town. And, it was fascinating to watch the behind the scenes. I had forgotten about your little personal escapade there, but you got to meet a lot of the key players in town. And, the one thing with going through the hurricane, the tornado, we saw this town come together like almost never before. And that's Mullica Hill. That's absolutely Mullica Hill.
And for those of you who are not in the area, I believe, Paul, you're referring to the tornado that hit Mullica Hill last year, right?
Correct.
Right around this time, actually.
Yeah, 13 months ago.
It was really devastating. It really took out a lot, because we're in New Jersey and South Jersey. There's not a lot of, we're not in Kansas, right? So there's not a lot of tornadoes that come blowing through. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about your experience about being on the show.
Well, I enjoyed watching Cassandra work. As the conversations and interviews took a little spin, because I went with you to a couple of sites, the textile mills came up, and Cassandra spun on that because of her experiences. And then there was a piece of furniture that will be focal, and to talk about that and its roots, we turned that around. That was in the lower level of blue plate.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, Paul. That actually fell on the cutting floor.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
I was
maybe
afraid
we can put that as we'll have to talk to Cassandra and worry about if we can maybe put that on Instagram or something so people can see. But yeah, so the piece of furniture that Paul is referring to is in the basement of Blue Plate. So maybe visit Blue Plate. See if you can buy Paul lunch, and he'll tell you about that piece of furniture.
Well, I got to say, while we're talking about Blue Plate, my wife thinks that the Chef Malaby's filet is the best on the planet. And we go to other restaurants and we will text the chef and say, not even close. Not even. Barbara will tell you that she will lick the plate from that red wine reduction sauce on his filet. So, and we do have a wonderful variety of restaurants up and down Main Street, and we try and hit them all. But when we want a fabulous steak dinner, Blue Plate.
So thank you so much for meeting me here, Paul, and we are at a local family-owned house that is called the Spicer House, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. So Paul here is the local historian, and he's going to share with us a little bit about Mullica Hill. So how old is Mullica Hill?
Well, Mullica Hill was founded around 1704. When young Eric Mullica and William Mullica and John Mullica, three brothers who were actually Swedish but came by way of Finland, actually came in on the Raccoon Creek, which is in the center of town at the bottom of the hill. But the significance of sitting here at the Spicer House is that everything on this side of the creek at one time was known as Spicerville. So Jacob Spicer established a farm here. He had, I want to say 500 acres, and he donated the ground that holds the Quaker Meeting House or Friends Meeting House, and he was quite a prominent citizen. After a while, all of that got absorbed into Mullica Hill, but we have two of the Mullica houses surviving on Main Street, one built in 1704 and the other possibly as late as 1791, somewhere in there. And that house was doubled in size later by a prominent mill owner here. So that's, appropriately enough right there on the creek, because that's how they arrived.
Yeah, and this house is really like the starting point of like the district, the historic district.
Well, we go a little further than this. We're 1 mile. We're from 77 to 322 down by the Harrison House restaurant.
Okay, how many miles is that?
It's almost exactly a mile.
Almost exactly a mile. So you can absolutely come and walk and experience everything that Mullica Hill has to offer.
Very pedestrian friendly.
Yeah. So you've been here for some time, right? Because you grew up here. Yeah. How has Mullica Hill changed over the years?
Well, we came here in 1967, so we're not originals, but there were no developments at all when we arrived in Mullica Hill. Mullica Hill was in sort of one of its valleys at that time. A lot of homes needed fixed up and things like that. My parents got a lot of bang for their buck. For $14,000, they got a 5-bedroom house.
That's crazy.
And
$14,000.
$14,000. It was in their budget. My dad was retiring from the service and going to work at the Navy Yard.
I don't think you can buy a car nowadays.
Probably not. But
not a good car anyway.
The side here at that time was the local real estate office. It was part of their house, and they were too busy to help us.
Oh.
So we went to a little store, and the woman said, "Oh, my friend across the street has a license with them," and we bought a house in the middle of town.
That's awesome. So I know that Mullica Hill is a local, state, and historic and nationally registered, right?
Correct.
So what does that really entail?
Well, because there are so many different kinds of architecture up and down Main Street and some of the ancillary side streets, rather than having a historic site here, a historic site there, it was deemed that enough of our buildings were contributing that we were granted a National Historic District.
And now you said the railroad was here. Is the railroad still here?
Railroad is gone, but in the center of town, the warehouse, which is Naples Restaurant, right in between that and the fire company is where the railroad station was. But if you cross the road to the old mill across the street, the deck is built on railroad pilings, and they continue into the woods across the street.
Oh, that's
amazing. We may get a bicycle path that incorporates the old railroad bed
at
some point.
That would be incredible.
That's one of our goals, is to connect the county and to complete their bicycle.
Well, as a health and fitness professional, I am all for that. So please share that with
whoever you need to share
Well,
with.
it's in the books. It's you know, it's
coming.
funding.
Yeah.
But
No, I love that idea because that I think just adds a whole new aspect to the dimension of Mullica Hill, because not only do you have the shops, but then you have the experience of walking down what used to be the railroad, or riding a bike down the railroad, and kind of not recapturing it, but like having an experience of this is how, like I always find it fascinating when I go on trips is, you know, we're in this car and it can take us, you know, 20 minutes to get somewhere, but if you were in a horse and buggy, it could take you like 5 hours. Who knows? It's just crazy. So, yeah.
But and Mullica Hill, you know, one of the friends of preservation is alternative uses for old buildings. So many of our old structures and buildings have been converted to, as you've seen today, I'm sure, many shops, restaurants, businesses of all kinds, retail, professional offices, and so forth.
Well, thank you, Paul, so much for coming out and sharing. I know you have so many more stories and so much more that you could share with us, but thank you again for coming out and sharing.
Thanks for coming to Mullica Hill.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Enjoy it as I have since I was 9.
You guys are going to have to watch the complete episode to figure out which hand has the poop on it. It's very clear. You will be able to see. Paul, thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and sharing your family history pretty much with us, and coming on board and really being a part of this production. Thank you.
It's been my great pleasure. Thank you.
We are going into the next segment, which was filmed in Ella Harris Park. Again, going with how our day started. It was rainy and miserable and crappy weather. And then by the time we left Blue Plate and filmed that other segment you just saw, the sky, it was gorgeous. It was so beautiful. Birds were flying and the sun was out. It was amazing. So originally the park scene was supposed to be in the beginning of the day, in actually the whole episode, but it wound up fitting very nicely into the middle of it. And I want to bring on Amari, who is our videographer. And I think Amari had a lot of fun. Hey, Amari. Amari had a lot of fun in the park, I think.
I did.
Hey, Maury.
How's it going, everyone?
Tell everybody a little bit about you and your background.
So the first time I touched the camera was in about 2008 in high school, and ever since then I couldn't put it down. My brother was in music, so I helped him with his videos, and then I also got into photography as well because I love both aspects of how you can use a camera. So I got into photography. I convinced my parents to let me go to school for photography. And, you know, after that, you know, I just started my own business around photography and videography, and, you know, have been, you know, working by myself and with, you know, now Cassandra for some time now. It's been at least, 7 years or something like that, that we've been together.
You're my nephew, so you
exactly.
You have no other choice, right?
Brought me on board. No, but I'm truly honored to be brought on board, you know, with her and you know, help her with her projects and everything, because it's been truly a blessing. You know, I love to indulge in, you know, production. So until I can do it full time, it's nice to be able to, you know, network and really work with a lot of people, and to have a home base, you know.
Yeah.
So
what was, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to say, what was your experience when, tell us your experience about filming this episode, but in particular also the park.
Okay. I just want to say that your son was very helpful. He definitely was a great assistant, I would say. He helped us throughout the you know, the entire shoot. You know, whatever we needed, he was there. So I appreciate, you know, you for that.
It's kind of like Cassandra. It's kind of like Cassandra said. He was kind of wrangled into it a little bit. My son is 17, and so he jumped on board and was happy to help out. And he was a gaffer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Gaffer.
official title. Yeah. So he did the board a lot and helped setting up the
Lighting.
cameras and things like that.
Lighting.
Yeah. So
Did a
thank you
lot.
for that. I will tell him
Very
that as well.
instrumental, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yes, we got to bring out the drone because, like you said, the weather changed tremendously and it was a beautiful day. So being able to capture the park. Sorry, guys, I have a daughter.
Okay. An adorable daughter, I might add.
Thank you. No, but it was able to capture the park in such a beautiful way because the weather had changed, and I'm so glad that we got, that chance to shoot it in that timing. Because as you'll see, the park is very beautiful. It has this very beautiful, like, little forestry walking.
Okay, don't give it away. Don't give everything away.
I won't say too much, but
all right.
Okay. Guys, stay tuned.
We were able to bring out the drone. Okay.
Yes, stay tuned, guys. Some nice views coming up.
Well, we are here, and this is a beautiful day. We just finished up at Blue Plate and had a fantastic meal. We also talked to Paul, the historian, and got the lay of the land for Mullica Hill, and now we are here at Ella Harris, and it is a gorgeous day, and it is the perfect day to go get some movement, to go get some exercise, maybe a little stretching, before we go to our final destination today. So, come on and join me. Are you ready? Let's go. So one of the things I love to do is to come out into the park and just really experience nature. No matter whether you're traveling or it's just a normal day for you, go out and take advantage of those local parks. So it's gorgeous here. I mean, the trees, the foliage, everything. But whenever I start a workout, we're going to do a little bit of a gentle stretch, just kind of stretching out those muscles. And we don't want to tweak anything or hurt anything when you're working out. But it's always good to move your body. It's really essential. Our bodies were meant to move. We were not meant to sit at a desk all day and not move. Our body needs some exercise, and what better place to get it than out in nature? Oh, do you see what that is up there? That box is a bat box. They make them in the parks to welcome the bats in, and the bats actually keep the mosquitoes down. So the bats come out at dusk, and then they return to their bat box at dawn, and in the meantime they eat all the mosquitoes. So when you come to the park, you can enjoy the park without getting eaten up by mosquitoes. So one of the things I love about parks is they have park benches and they have picnic tables usually. So we are going to do a mini workout using the picnic table. So we're going to start off, we're going to do a push-up, and then we're going to stand up, squat, touch. Again, these are something simple you can do in the park, and then a tricep press down. And then we're going to do it again. Last time. All right, we are going to call that our workout, and now we're going to go stretch. And remember, when you're in your park, take advantage of these picnic tables and the park benches. All right, so we just finished our little workout in the park, and now we're going to do a little bit more stretching. So I always love to just get my mat out and face the sun, put my feet out in front of me, and take a nice good stretch. You always want to loosen up those joints. You can bring your leg over and lean forward. Again, making sure you're going to stretch out both legs. But just take in the scenery and just absorb nature. And I love watching people ride by on their bikes and walk. And then we're going to do one more, just laying on your stomach and then press up. And lay back. And now we are going to go to our last destination.
Amari, thank you so much for being a part of this and your talent. And I cannot wait to see how the show progresses with your talent and Cassandra's input. And we've had our discussions of where the show is going to elevate to. So I cannot wait to see that. So thank you so much for being a part of this as well.
I think everyone saw how beautiful the day turned out for us. And again, you just pulled it all together in such a short period of time that it really was remarkable. So it was great experience.
I just think it was meant to be.
A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we laughed a lot as we were filming and doing takes. And I have to say, in this last segment, I do have another little bit behind the scenes one that I'm going to give. But before I do that, let's introduce our last guest of the evening. We went to Monroeville Winery.
And you're going to see that the daylight, the sunlight has changed a little bit, okay, because this was an all-day shoot, okay? Like we said, we started out before 7 o'clock in the morning, and by
we didn't
the time
finish till 9, I think. It was a long day.
They're going to see the sun. They're going to see the sun start to come down in this scene.
Yeah, and I think by the time we wrapped up, it was so much fun, but I know I was exhausted. I really have a lot of respect for people that are actors and do those 15, 20-hour shoots because it's intense. I want to welcome Debbie Basile from the Monroeville Winery. Thank you so much for coming on. And Debbie, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and the winery.
Oh, hi, Nicole. So good to see you. It's funny because I didn't realize everything you did before you came to me. So now I really got to see the extent of your day. So it was good you ended at the Monroeville Vineyard and Winery.
Right. Drinking the wine, right?
Yeah. So our tasting room has been open for over 10 years. We like to promote the winery and the vineyard as an extension of our home. We live on the property. We grow most of the wine, most of the grapes used in the wines that we make.
Don't give too much away, Debbie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And we do welcome people from all over the country to our winery. And we do have a lot of repeat visitors who make us part of their annual trip every year when they come and visit family. We have a campground behind us, which is really nice. And, it's my husband and I make the wine, so it's a really family business.
Yeah. And Debbie and I have known each other for a couple years. And like I said, Debbie was the only person.
Over 10.
Has it been 10? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So.
How many you guys?
And we're still 21. Imagine that.
Yes.
So Debbie is the only one that I knew going into the show other than Cassandra. So yeah, I'm so grateful that she said yes, because I love her winery. We've been to it quite frequently, and she is always super generous with her wine and gives us, I think we have an equivalent stash of what she has at the winery.
Yeah, your own little wine cellar.
Right, exactly. Their wines are delicious. So Debbie, tell everybody a little bit about your experience being on the show.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was a little bit nervous when you asked me, and I wasn't really sure if I would be able to do this because it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I'm really glad that I took the risk. And I have to say it's because of you, Nicole, because you're always so upbeat, so encouraging. And I do appreciate that you spent some time, telling me about your show. And I have worked with you in the past doing fitness events at the winery. So because of your encouragement and you answering all my questions, I did feel really comfortable by the time we did do the filming. And listening throughout the whole thing, I kept hearing the word fun. And when you told me we were going to speak tonight, that word was resonating with me, because when I thought back, I thought about all the laughing and the fun that we had at the winery. So meanwhile, I didn't know you were having that much fun throughout the whole day. So It must have been an exhausting day, but overall, I was just so excited and appreciative that you invited me on the show, and I'm really looking forward to see where Healthy Travel with Nicole goes, and I just wish you the best, as always, as a friend and also a business associate as well.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. Yeah. And I am so grateful that you said yes, because I can pick up, being a coach, I can pick up when people are a little bit like, I don't know. I was like, what? I want to do this. Before I go into the last segment of the show, I want to say this. Every year, right around Christmas time, I may have a glass of wine, and it is always a Monroeville wine glass of whatever is in floating around in the house. But other than that, I don't really drink at all. So when we decided we were going to do a flight of wine for this next segment,
I think it was the first time I drank a flight of wine as well.
I told Cassandra, I said, Cassandra, we're going to need to do this in one take, because as I drink, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. So thank goodness it only took one take, and it was so much fun. And honestly, the wines were delicious. I did not finish the entire flight, as in like all the glass of the wine that was poured out, but I could have, because it was delicious.
I don't think we would have been able to finish if you did.
No,
so.
And I would not have been able to walk after, because I'm really a lightweight at this point. So
we're here at our final destination today. We are at the Monroeville Winery, and I have Deborah, the owner, sitting with us, and we are going to have a flight of wine in a little bit. But Debbie, what inspired you to start a vineyard and a winery out here?
Well, it's a very long story, but to keep it short, my husband's family has always made wine, and he had a great demand for his wine, and I always would tell him, it takes you so long to make this wine, but then everybody's coming and drinking it, our friends, our neighbors, our family. And then back in 2009, there was a lot of wineries popping up in the area. And I jokingly said to John, we always wanted to have our farm, and why don't we start a winery? And I almost didn't believe we were actually going to do it, but then we found the farm, we sold everything, planted a vineyard, and then it just came, just happened.
Yeah, I love when people just leap, and then
everything
falls. Yeah, but everything falls into place, I feel like. And the winery, you guys have been here since when?
Well, we had the farm since 2009, but the tasting room opened in 2012. And I think once the ball started rolling, we just were so full of excitement, and we were like, this is really happening, and we have this beautiful farm. And I was able to work from home, and John was the original winemaker, and now in 2019 he actually passed that responsibility over to me. So when I look back, I'm just amazed at how far we've come.
Yeah, how much you guys have evolved. Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to taste the wine.
Yep, and you'll enjoy it. It's good.
Here you go, Nicole, this is yours. Okay, so you'll start here with this white mark here, go clockwise, and they're in the order that you picked them.
Awesome, thank you so much. This is incredible. Look at this setup.
I don't think I've ever drank a whole flight of my wines.
I don't think I have either.
Deb, same thing. You'll start here with this white mark here, go clockwise, and they're in the order that you picked them.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, enjoy.
Okay.
Ooh, cheers.
So I was going to say, do we cheers? Do we
yes.
toast?
Great. And I think we're both starting with the same, our Chardonnay.
Oh, awesome. So tell me a little bit about the Chardonnay.
Well, this is actually my favorite wine. So let's just taste it first. These vines we planted in 2010.
Oh, wow.
So they are one of the original varieties of white wines that we planted. And to me, it's one of our best. It's our customer favorite. It's very versatile. It goes with fish, chicken, but a lot of people just drink it by itself while they're cooking.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask, is there a difference between the grapes that you use? Or are they all red grapes, or do you have white grapes, or how does that work?
That's an interesting question, because when we first started, I didn't realize some of the red grapes do make white wines. Okay. So, but this Chardonnay is made from a white grape. Okay. Technically green, but then our rosés, which is a light pink, we do make those from a red wine. Okay. But you can make a white wine from red grapes.
Oh, fascinating.
So that was something that I learned, and I was like, oh, you know, you can always learn something. But
all right, let's try number 2. Do we have the same?
No, what do you have?
I believe I have, is that a Zinfandel?
Zinfandel, yes. So those grapes, actually, there are some grapes that we do import from out of New Jersey.
Okay.
The Zinfandel is one of those, and we work with a supplier who's in Hamilton, so a lot of times when he has excess grapes, so my husband, he likes to have some grapes not from New Jersey.
I love that. I love red wine. I think I do like the sweet wines, but there's something very classy about red wine. And in this area in particular, there are a lot of different wineries that people can come and check out, and also the distilleries. They're popping up as well. So if you come to South Jersey in the Mullica Hill area, you definitely will.
You will be pleasantly surprised.
Surprised at what there is to entertain yourself with. Yeah. So Debbie, we're in the processing room. So tell us a little bit more about this.
Well, this is pretty much where all the action starts, happens. We make the wine, we bottle, we do pretty much everything to do with production in this room. When it leaves this room, it's ready to be sold. So after the wine is crushed, we ferment in these tanks, and they're usually in these tanks for like 7 to 10 days. They're temperature controlled. Fermentation is the process where the fruit turns into the wine. And depending on how it ferments is how much alcohol we have. So after fermentation, then we press, and then they go back into this tank. So these tanks for us as a small winery are very important. We're in the mentality that we turn the wine over quickly. So we usually only make 1 or 2 batches at a time. So once the wine is pressed, it goes back in and it'll age a little bit more. And then we filter, bottle, and it's ready. So these tanks, believe it or not, hold over 4,000 liters of wine.
Wow. So I see this ladder here. Am I allowed to go take a peek?
Yes. Yep. Keeps you fit.
Oh, wow. So this vineyard is absolutely stunning. So tell me a little bit about how you grow your grapes and what we're looking at here.
Well, this is our Cabernet Franc, and this is one of our original varieties that we planted in 2010. And my husband and I, we stretched this. We hand planted all of these, put the irrigation lines in. My husband did a lot of research about the lines and the spacing. And when I think back, I don't know how we did it because it was a lot, and I don't know if I could ever do it again. This is the bare minimum that you need to have a winery in New Jersey. You need to have 3 acres of vines. We actually have 4, but the actual vines are in like a 3-acre square.
Okay.
But now the new philosophy is less is more, just for the environment. And again, like our family lives on the property, so we want to keep it as at the minimum. And we are audited by the DEP every year, and I do get an award every year. I get a certificate because we use very little herbicide here.
That is awesome to know because I think as we grow as an environment and knowing that we can come to a place that's not laden with pesticides and sit and enjoy wine and not be afraid to breathe all that in, I think that's fascinating. And I think that's probably one of the qualities that people bring, you guys bring to the people, because then they can come here and feel safe. Thank you so much for taking me into the vineyard. And I hear that you have a vast property that you allow your customers to go walk on.
Yes, we do. And I'll be happy to show you that.
All right, let's go. Deborah, thank you so much for bringing us into this beautiful vineyard and showing us around today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. I really enjoyed seeing you. It was so nice to be able to talk and to share the farm with you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, everybody, that is our final destination for today in the Mullica Hill, New Jersey area. Thank you so much for being here. And we have to finish with this beautiful sunset that is behind us, because you need to come to this vineyard and experience the sunset all on your own while you're sipping wine.
That's just the beginning. That was the pilot episode. And it's just the beginning, because we have some surprising destinations and ideas for the upcoming continuous shows or series that we can't give away right now. All right. But we know, okay, that you will more than enjoy and love.
If you would follow on Instagram, Healthy Travel with Nicole, you will definitely stay in the loop for when our next episodes are coming out. We've got some stuff that we can't share yet, but definitely stay in the loop, because it's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to have you come along and travel with me as we share these experiences and explore new adventures and all kinds of things, and still manage to stay healthy and fit, right? Because that's really the premise of it. I want to thank Cassandra. I want to thank Amari. I want to thank Jim. I want to thank Scott. I want to thank Paul, Debbie, everybody who contributed to this production. Even though my name's on it, it's a collaborative effort. And I am so grateful of the support that I have from friends and family and the cast and crew. And I just cannot wait to really show what we all can do together. Again, I want to thank the mayor, and I want to thank all the Mullica Hill businesses that didn't get showcased in the episode. If you do go to my Instagram at Healthy Travel, do check out the reels and the post of all the local businesses. So when you do go to Mullica Hill, not only can you go to Blue Plate and the winery, and if you run into Paul, which you may, but check out all the businesses that are there, because it really is an adorable town. And, you know, support local businesses for sure. And also share it with your family and friends as well. Again, thank you guys for being here and being a part of our celebration, because and a collaboration. And so we're grateful that you are a part of it as well.
Also, ideas for destinations, you know, someplace nice, scenic, luxury style would be great too. Just some places, some hidden gem locations that maybe a lot of people are not aware of. We like to highlight those areas and spotlight those businesses and, you know, communities as well.
So if you go to healthytravelwithnicole.com, you will see on the bottom of that homepage a form that you can fill out if you have a recommendation for a place that you want to see highlighted, or just a country. Like I see Cammie already said, come to Aruba. Amari agrees, Aruba would be awesome. Yes, I agree with that as well. But if you have any ideas, and not just like Cassandra was saying, not just like Aruba, but tell us like the restaurants that you love. Tell us the excursion-y things that you like to do, the turtle watching, I don't know, whatever, if fun things that you like to do while you're in that area.
So let us know if you would like to be a part of the show as well.
Yes. Yeah. That's part
but you gotta be able to travel.
Right. Yeah. So if you actually want to travel along with me, reach out and we'll share a little bit of insight on that. All right.
A little bit.
We can't tell everything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think Cammie's on board. Cammie. Go to healthytravelwithnicole.com. Again, my name is spelled Nicole, or follow us on Instagram at Healthy Travel with Nicole. I am also on Facebook, but Instagram is definitely where I hang out a little bit more on this show. So again, thank you so much for being here. Have an incredible evening. I hope you had as much fun as I personally did, not only creating and being a part of the filming, but in this premiere event. I'm so grateful for everyone who was a part of this. So thank you so much. And I will see you on the next episode.
That's
Have
right.
a beautiful night.
See you there.
Right. Bye, everybody.